One of the deepest hopes scapegoats carry is that the enabler will one day wake up. That some final piece of evidence, some breakthrough conversation, or some rock-bottom moment will shake them free from their allegiance to the narcissist and the system. But here's the painful truth most survivors eventually learn. The enabler already saw enough, and they chose not to act. Often, it's a choice made over and over again to prioritize emotional safety over moral clarity. Admitting the truth that they enabled harm, betrayed trust, or protected an abuser would collapse their entire self-image. So instead of changing, they double down. And most heartbreakingly, they blame you for making it hard. They say things like, "Well, yeah, you're being too harsh," or "You don't understand how hard it's been for me." Suddenly, the conversation is no longer about the harm you endured, but about how uncomfortable they feel being asked to witness it. With enablers who never change, the issue isn't that you haven't explained well enough. It's that your truth requires them to become someone else. And not everyone is willing to go through that transformation. Some people will protect their image even if it means sacrificing their integrity. Some people will cling to roles they understand, even if those roles require them to abandon those they claim to love. They just stop engaging, and that silence becomes an answer. So how do you know when to let go? Not out of punishment, not out of revenge, but out of self-respect? You know when every conversation becomes circular, when every boundary is treated like an offense, when your healing feels like a burden, when you find yourself emotionally exhausted after every interaction, questioning your sanity, rewording your feelings, just to keep the peace. That's when letting go becomes an act of compassion. Not just for them, but for yourself. It means you've stopped sacrificing your healing for their comfort. It means you recognize that your worth is not dependent on their approval. And it means you're willing to grieve the loss of someone who is still alive, because the version of them you hoped would emerge simply won't. You don't have to become bitter, but you do have to become clear. And the clarity is this: some enablers will never leave the role, not because you failed to inspire them, but because they need the system more than they need the truth. And no amount of pleading will change that. Not because your truth isn't real, but because their denial is stronger than their love. This clarity allows you to release the performance, to stop trying to fix, teach, or rescue someone who benefits from not understanding you, to stop searching for language that makes your pain more palatable to someone who refuses to digest it, and to stop delaying your healing for the fantasy of reunion. It's honoring reality. It's choosing peace over performance. And it's making space for the kind of love that doesn't require you to split yourself into pieces to be accepted.